Hello, welcome back to my channel. I feel like the setup is making this seem a lot more official than it actually is. I just sat here because I needed to get a good thumbnail, but this is just going to be a casual vlog of me reading some stuff from Kindle Unlimited, specifically some sports romances. I was realizing recently that I just have not been reading any KU romances, and I've missed it. Yeah, sure, traditionally published romance can be fun, but nothing beats a good free romance, you know what I mean? So I just decided I was going to dip my toes into some of these sports romances. They're from some authors that I either really enjoy or have wanted to try for a while, so I'm looking forward to reading them with you. I'll forewarn you guys, I don't know anything about these books except for I think they're all football romances. First up we have The Revenge Pact by Ilsa Madden Mills. This cover has been just like calling to me for a while. This guy's face is super intense, so we're gonna read it. Next is On a Tuesday by Whitney G. I've heard a lot of good things about Whitney in general, and then specifically this book, so I'm excited to give this one a go. And then one that has been kind of pushed at me, I guess, whenever I like hop on Amazon to, you know, search romances, has been The Art of Falling for You by Maya Hughes. And I've had like mixed luck with Maya Hughes in the past. I think I've only read like one of her books and it was just okay, so I'm excited to dip my toes into that one as well. Maybe see if she redeems herself for me. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the vlog portion of this video. Okay, hello. It's been a while. It's been a while since I vlogged and I'm feeling a little bit out of it. So hopefully I can get back into the spirit of things as we talk about The Revenge Pact by Ilsa Madden Mills. Not gonna lie, I'm very much enjoying it, very much having a great time. It's like 5:30, it is a Tuesday, and I'm not gonna lie, reading has not been going super great for me. I didn't vlog at all last week because I just like wasn't in the mood and I just didn't want to really read anything. I listened to like a couple audiobooks, but I didn't read anything physically. So I'm excited to be back into the swing of things, kind of. I mean, it's slow going, but I'm ready. Of course, the cats always come when I'm trying to chat. Pepper's back here. I'm trying to make this like a slightly more casual and chatty vlog. I mean, I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I'm reading as well. But last week I found my wedding dress, which is super fucking exciting. Like, while I didn't do a lot of like bookish stuff, I feel like it was productive. My parents came into town for wedding dress shopping, which was super nice. They both are vaccinated, so yeah, it was just nice being able to see them. That's stuff you guys don't probably give much of a shit about. I know there's like 3 of you who've been asking for more life updates, so I thought I would kind of tell you, but let's talk about The Revenge Pact. Hopefully Nugget will stop purring long enough for me to do that. This is reminding me so much of Dear Ava. It doesn't have the heaviness of like essay in it, but it definitely has like the football and it has the same sort of relationship dynamics, kind of. The story is about River and Anna, short for Anastasia Steele. I like them a lot. It is a boyfriend's best friend romance, which I think is going to be good. There's no cheating element to it, kind of like with Dear Ava. Like, there's no cheating, but she's kind of like pining for him and he's kind of pining for her. Mutual pining. Yeah, you know, I'm really enjoying it. It's really cute so far. There's definitely some banter. I would say the tone, very tonally different from Dear Ava, but the essence and the vibes I'm enjoying, and they're similar enough. So essentially, both of these characters are in college. River just had a really shitty football season, but he's coming back for a 5th year, I think, the next year. He's having a rough go of it, and I think he has always kind of had a thing for Anna, but wasn't able to express that because his best friend is dating her. And the way that his best friend Donovan got with Anna in the first place was by writing her a note and leaving it on her table at the library. He saw her across the library, thought she was cute, wrote her a note, and then he waited for her outside of the library after, you know, she studied or whatever, and then they started dating. And I think that it was actually River that wrote the note and like Donovan just capitalized on it or something like that. Like, there was some sort of misunderstanding, and like it's actually River that's always been into her, and that she just kind of like started dating Donovan on a whim. Donovan's sort of shitty. He just got into law school. He's kind of like a preppy frat bro, and he forgot about Anna's birthday. She's just having kind of a shitty day because she didn't get into the same law school as her boyfriend, and like she's not having a great time, and River's kind of into her. They get into like an argument on the elevator before one of their classes because they have a couple classes together. I'm doing this book absolutely no justice, but it's fun. There was a flashback scene kind of like there is in Dear Ava, not quite as like steamy or tension filled, but still like hot, I guess. So appreciate just something about that formula just works for me. That mutual pining, that oh no, we locked eyes when he walked in on me kind of thing. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I do have chapped lips, but other than that, I'm having a good time. God, this is stupid. And by that I mean I'm just like all over the place today, but I'm gonna continue reading this and I'll update you guys when I get a little farther. Okay, so besides the moment when River decides to wear jeans while running, I'm enjoying this still. It is Friday, April 2nd. I can't remember the last time I updated you guys. It's 6 p.m. To be honest, I just have not been in a reading mood this week. So much has happened. We had to take our dog Dingo in for surgery. It was like kind of planned. We had done his consultation on Wednesday and they said they could take him Thursday for the surgery. And anyway, I have not gotten any sleep this week. I'm so tired and I just didn't want to read, and that's okay. But today I finally was feeling okay, feeling decent enough, and I decided to pick this book up again. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. It is one of those books, kind of like Dear Ava, where it's hard to recommend it to people just because I don't think it's a book that everybody's gonna love. I think there's a chance that if you liked the angst and the romance in Dear Ava, I mean, because Dear Ava has quite a few components, but if you liked that angstiness, I think you might like this. But again, it's kind of hard to recommend because I think this one goes even farther with the angst, and I'm 100% here for it. It's a lot. I don't remember where we left off last time, but right now, Anna and River are still in this very angsty phase. He ends up going to her apartment on her birthday to return a book, and they have some sort of intimate moments. They don't get intimate, but she's high, and they have some sort of banter going on, and then her boyfriend shows up, remembering that it's her birthday, and that creates this just delicious tension. She starts making out with her boyfriend, or he grabs her ass or something, and River is all angsty, and he's like, I'm leaving. And I don't know, I know it's very much not for everyone, but I'm here for it. I don't know what it is about spring and summer, but I just want to read angsty and or trashy romances. And I'm not one to use the word trashy to describe romance, but some romances just have that kind of soapy vibe, and this one kind of does. I'm kind of surprised though with the direction of things. I don't want to spoil too much about this book because I think want you to pick it up. I mean, I'm gonna withhold judgment until I finish it, but at this point I'm just surprised because I thought that there was going to be a breakup and or the boyfriend would be cheating on Anna, and that the Revenge Pact would be her getting with River as kind of a revenge thing, and they would eventually end up falling for each other. And maybe that does happen, but I'm 30 to 40% into the book and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm wondering if it's going to be just a completely different plot altogether. So I'll be interested to see what happens. They're going on a ski trip together. I think her and her friends are going on a ski trip, and then River and his frat brothers are going on the same ski trip. They're going to be in the same place, which sounds angsty and delicious and just so fun, because I don't think the boyfriend is going, which is good because we don't like the boyfriend. And maybe they won't even get together on this trip. Maybe it'll just be some more angst between River and Anna. It's kind of silly, but I'm very into it. And I'm wondering at this point if I picked the worst Ilsa Madden Mills book for my first one. I think it was Dirty English or whatever. I hated that book. I'm wondering if that was just a fluke and all of her other books are awesome and I've just been missing out. I don't know. I guess we'll see once I finish this one, but I'm gonna keep reading. I don't know when I'll update you guys again. I've just been kind of updating you when I feel like updating you, and that's been working for me, but so far I'm having a grand old time. Okay, nice change of scenery, nice change of pace. I hope you're liking it. Unfortunately, I ended up not liking the Revenge Pact as much as I thought that I was going to. It's so strange how at the 80% mark, the tone and the direction of the story just completely changed. And I don't mean that the tone got serious or dark or anything like that. In fact, I actually think it got a little brighter and sunnier. And I think it went too far in that direction. I feel parts of it were just a little cringy. I wanted to skim the sex scene, even though it was something I was dying for, when I was at the 40-50% mark of the book. I think my issue is that the attention and the will they won't they happened up until 80%. Then the breakup slash not even breakup. I mean, the breakup happens earlier between Donovan and I just finished this book and I can't even remember her name. Fuck. Anastasia. The breakup between Donovan and Anastasia happens I would say 40-50% into the way of the book, and she's just trying to decide if she's going to get back together with him, and River kind of has this guilt with him, which kind of adds to the tension because he's oh well, I maybe contributed to the breakup of Donovan and Anastasia because I told Donovan that it was never going to work out and that his, aka Donovan, his rich family would never accept Anastasia, they were just better off apart. So I mean, I understand his guilt, right, the sabotage, but you want her, she wants you, it doesn't really matter at the end of the fucking day. And it really didn't matter at the end of the day because none of the tension ever led anywhere. And I think that's what frustrated me, because there was so much good awesome tension throughout the book, and then you get to the 80% mark, they finally get together in the lamest way possible. There's no big climax of you being oh my god, yes, finally. It's just that's how it's happening. Okay, they have sex, and then she decides something about her future that I thought was pretty lame, and then he, goes to the NFL, and that's the end of the book. It is so wham bam thank you ma'am, and not in a good way. And I was sad. I was really sad. I don't want to spoil the end of the book because I do think parts of it were fun, and I wouldn't not recommend it because I feel it's a fun, easy breezy read. And for the summer, who doesn't like a good angsty drama? But yeah, I think ultimately this is a 3-star read for me, which sucks because I was really oh my god, yes, finally I found good books to read. But this was just okay. I think it definitely falls short if you're going to compare it to Dear Ava, but if you're comparing it to a lot of the other new adult stuff out there, I feel this was pretty solid. And besides the mildly weird, best friends, it wasn't even his best friend's girlfriend. kind of thing. If that bothers you, you probably won't like this, but other than that, it's like pretty tame. It's like not... Scared the shit out of me. Hey buddy, can you see him? Yeah, you can, in the corner of the screen. That's it. That's all I really have to say about this book. I just wanted to get on here before I completely forgot everything about it. I'm going to carry on with On a Tuesday. On a Tuesday? Is that the name of the book? The one by Whitney G. We're gonna do that one next. I'll get back to you once I started it. It's gonna be weeks from now. I can already guarantee it. Today is April 6th, which is a Tuesday, and I have 2 other videos that I need to work on expeditiously. So I have no idea when I'm gonna get back to this, but none of y'all care. I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, not gonna lie, the post-lunch nap is beckoning to me. She's calling to me, but I thought I'd update you guys before I do that. So it is Tuesday the 20th. It's been like 2 weeks since I last talked to y'all, and since it's Tuesday, I'm starting On a Tuesday by Whitney G. I'm like 20% in, and I am quite enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's like groundbreaking or anything particularly special, but it's really well written, and I appreciate that. So it's about our main characters, Charlotte and, oh goodness, I can't remember his name, unsurprisingly, because he is probably the least interesting part about this book, Grayson. Okay, Grayson and Charlotte, and they met in college their senior year, and it is 7 years later, and I think it's going to be sort of a dual POV, dual timeline thing, where you have them in the past, in college, he's like hotshot star football player, she is bookish or whatever, and she helps tutor him as part of like her graduating requirements, and he also needs tutoring so he can graduate. Not because he is a bad student, which I thought was an interesting take, it's just because he is like behind on graduation requirements. Apparently he's like very studious, which I think is a nice take. I think just because someone is into football or is an athlete doesn't necessarily mean that they're stupid, so appreciate that touch. It makes it a little different than all of the other stories that are like this. But anyway, that's the past timeline. They're in college and they're kind of, it's not enemies to lovers, but she is not into him at the beginning and he is very much like trying to hit on her. And then in the present timeline, Grayson's in the NFL, he's very lonely, he just won the Super Bowl. It's how we open the story. He just won the Super Bowl and he just like doesn't have anyone to like share in his excitement with, and he is gonna go to his 7-year college reunion. Apparently Charlotte has RSVP'd, and so he's definitely gonna go so we can see her. So I'm assuming something romantic happens in the past timeline when they're in college, and then I think something is gonna happen in the present timeline to bring them back together. Mixed feelings. I am enjoying the story so far. I think it's well written and I'm liking the banter. The only issue that I have is like I am sort of always worried about second chance romances because I feel like they can tend to be a little on the underdeveloped side, especially when you're trying to do the dual POV dual timeline situation. So I'm wondering if I'm going to get so much of the past timeline like I have so far and never get anything in the present day, and like they're just gonna end up together and I'm gonna be like, okay, but y'all worked 7 years ago, you're not working together great now. I don't know. It's a delicate balance, I feel like, with this kind of story, but so far so good, and I would say this is probably better written than The Revenge Pact. I liked that book okay, I guess. Like the writing wasn't terrible, but I think the writing in this one's probably a little better. So far so good. I've got Peppy right here with me. I'm on my new vlogging camera, which is exciting. Part of what spurred me to pick back up this video because I was like, you know what? Casual. We love a good vlog camera situation. So hopefully the audio quality is decent. This vlog camera has the option for a microphone on top, so that's kind of what I've got set up. I'm planning on finishing this book today because it's only like 200 pages, and I know that I'm getting my first shot of my vaccine or first dose of my vaccine tomorrow, and I don't know how my arm or my body's going to be feeling after that. So I don't know, having 2 of the 3 books read for this video would be awesome. I would love to get this up this week. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but I am having a good week, like mentally, so I just want to like knock some stuff out while I'm still feeling good. Speaking of knocking things out, I think I'm gonna knock out, as in pass out, and take myself a little hour nap because I need to. Okay, so I took my nap. I ate a lot of chocolate cupcakes that I made myself from a box. Obviously, I'm not a baker, but I think I'm gonna DNF this book. I'm just feeling it. It's not bad. I just know that this is gonna end up probably being like a 2 or 3 star read for me, and it's like at that point, why would I continue if I know in my gut, in my heart, in my soul that this is just not gonna be it for me. Like right after I talked to y'all, there were a couple of red flags that kind of popped up for me. Things that had previously been like, I don't know about this, kind of got worse. So let me try to like let you know what those things are. Number 1, I think the best friend of Grayson was gonna annoy me. I mean, he was already annoying me, but I think he was probably gonna show up in like later chapters, and I wasn't gonna be here for him. He very much has that like man whore characterization, and I usually don't like that in books. I feel like most of us don't really like that in books, and Kyle, specifically Kyle, had like the worst characterization ever. Like he would use reply all and talk about his sexual escapades and like include his football coach on like the CC line, I guess, like on accident. But I don't know, it was just like, I didn't like his character, I didn't like his inclusion. And I feel like if you're gonna have your hero have a best friend, can he at least be tolerable? Like he can be funny and be comic relief, and I think that's what she was trying to do with Kyle, but like can he not be a douchebag? I know I highlighted a couple of things too that I was just kind of like not into. First of all, Grayson in the present day asks his contacts in the police force in New York to get the address of Charlotte because he found out that Charlotte lives in New York and now he wants to know where she lives. No. Some things just add up, you know? Like if that was the one thing and it wasn't creepy, like, I mean, it would be creepy even if it wasn't just one thing, but if that had been like the one thing that was like about this book, like I might be able to overlook it, but just things were piling up. I also didn't like in the past timeline how insistent Grayson was, not insistent, persistent he was. Charlotte obviously didn't really want to have much to do with him, and he was just very, very pushy, which I didn't personally really enjoy. And then this is kind of actually there's two things. I thought there was only one thing left, but there's two. So the way that adults speak to the college students in this book are kind of strange. Don't really know what kind of college like Whitney went to or if she went to college, but the professors and the counselors that she talks to, Charlotte talks to, they very much act strange. Like I'm not saying, I don't know, there's like a meme, right? That in high school teachers are like, college professors aren't going to tolerate this kind of behavior, and like college professors are chill as fuck, right? But there's chill and then there's like overstepping boundaries, and I feel like whenever Charlotte says like she might go to art school and then become a lawyer to her professor, and her professor specifically says that's like telling the universe that you want to be homeless and broke for the rest of your life, like I have never had a professor ever speak like that to me. Obviously, you know, I know there's interesting professors out there, but I just never had that experience, and it felt kind of weird, especially coming from more than one person. It was like her professor and then also her counselor kind of acted like that. And then lastly, I think something that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me, there is mention of a false accusation of SA against our hero, and I just don't understand why that was included. I think a lot of us know the statistics that being falsely accused of SA is like pretty much near never happens. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really happen very often. So I don't understand why that was included in the story. It was kind of like offhandedly said, and or I just don't understand why it was made a part of the book. Like very strange, very odd. And maybe it becomes like more of a plot point later, but again, like I just don't understand why that was a choice that was made. Just a lot of things kind of came together, and nothing was so egregious. Like the writing wasn't terrible, whatever. I just like, I don't know, I just don't have time. I don't have the time to read something that I know that I'm not gonna love. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start in on The Art of Falling for You, and I'll probably update you guys tomorrow morning on that before I go get my vaccine, and then hopefully I'm not too tired, my arm doesn't hurt so much, and I can like at least hold on my phone to finish the book. Anyway, I'll update you guys tomorrow. Kind of sad that I DNF'd this, but you know what, it is what it is, and I don't know, maybe I'll give Whitney G another try in the future. I read Simply Carter by her. I was like looking because I knew I had read one book by her, and I gave that one 3 stars. I remember liking it, so maybe she'll redeem herself if I read more. I don't know why I'm trying to like soften the blow, but it is what it is. I'm DNFing. Hello, happy Monday. Hope y'all are doing well. As you can see, I have a pile of rags here. I didn't get all of my Sunday chores done, so I'm going to fold my rags for my kitchen while I talk to you guys about The Art of Falling for You. So right off the bat, this book is much darker than I had anticipated. I guess from the cover and just the other 2 books, I was expecting this to be kind of a low-key sports romance. I didn't really know, obviously, when it was going to be set, if it was going to be like high school or college. I assumed it'd be new adult just because are any sports romances like not new adult? You know, I was expecting certain things, and I'm not sure that I'm like loving where things are going. So the story is about Bay and Dare. Bay is the girl, Dare is the dude, if that was not clear. They have an interesting relationship. So they live across the street from each other. Bay has recently moved to this neighborhood because I think her father recently passed away, and her mom can no longer afford to live where they used to live, so they have moved. Bay has come across the fact that Dare now lives across the street from her. Dare is this like hotshot football player, and he doesn't really have much to do with her before that, but they don't really like have a history or initial attraction to each other, I guess. The way that I think Dare starts to fall for Bay is through her songwriting songwriting and her singing. So that's sort of like Bae's thing, right? She's really into singing, and I think she wants to like make some sort of career out of it. In her spare time, when her mom is working at the hospital, I think her mom's a nurse, Bae is going and helping people in a recording studio. So not only does she make her own music, but she helps other people record their music. So that's kind of her thing. Obviously sad that her father died, like that is tragic enough, but the real kicker here that made the story a lot darker than I had anticipated was Dare's storyline. So pretty early on, we figure out that Dare has been dealing with a very abusive father. I think his dad's a trucker, so he's not home all the time, but when he is home, he is stealing Dare's money, ruining his chances of having a normal, you know, happy life. Yeah, it's been a lot darker than I had anticipated. Now, we haven't actually seen any interactions yet between Dare and his dad, but I'm assuming it's going to be coming, and I'm kind of scared to see what happens, if I'm being 100% honest. I'm only about 10% in, so I don't feel like I have that much to say about the plot of the story. I'm actually kind of curious what's going to happen, and I will say that's kind of like the one complaint that I have so far, is that I'm 10% in, which I know is not that far, but I was expecting just a little bit more going in. Like, I wanted maybe some more backstory on the characters beyond just like the tragic backstory. Like, what are these characters' intentions and motivations, I guess, is really what I'm thinking. I mean, I guess we know that Bae wants to do her music thing, Dare wants to get on like some sort of college football team, but it doesn't really feel complete. Like, I'm not really feeling a lot of tension and stakes here, and I want at least some stakes to be built into the first 10% of a book. Like, I want to feel some motivation to continue reading, and I'm not really feeling that motivation here. Now, that's not to say it's bad and that I'm not going to continue, because I am going to continue. Like, so far, I'm just sort of like whatever about this book. The writing itself is a little bit strange too. I don't know if this author is from the US. Some of the like word choices are kind of strange, and some of the word choices surrounding football are weird. She talks about like a draft in relation to college football, which is not really a thing. You know, you do have like signing, like you sign to a team for the most part in college, but we don't really call it a draft. So I thought that was kind of weird. And there's also kind of like a dual timeline situation going on, but we don't really have the second timeline so far. We start out and Bae and Dare, like, you can tell it's gonna be like a second chance romance a little bit, because they end up meeting at a college dorm, and then we're thrown back to high school, but we haven't revisited any of the college timeline yet. So I'm wondering if that's gonna happen at the end, which I don't like. I like notoriously really hate that. That happens in a lot of Megan Quinn books. She writes baseball romances, and it seems like for all of her baseball romances, she has people get together and then they broken up and then back together like 10 years later, as if no time has passed. It just feels weird. I'm hoping that's not the case in this book. I feel like it's too early to really, you know, say whether or not that's gonna be a problem, but it's just strangely written so far. I mean, like, not hating it, it's very interesting. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. The rest of the day, I am planning on doing chores around the house. I need to wash my sheets and stuff, and then I'm also going to be updating you guys as I read. That's sort of the plan. I want to finish this book today because I want to post this vlog on Wednesday. I think I've been working on this vlog for about a month, which seems really silly because this is not like hard reading, right? It's just 3 books, but it's actually been kind of nice to be able to split it between multiple weeks and just get to like sneak in some romance between like some of the fantasy that I've been reading lately. So I'm going to continue folding these towels, and I will get back to you guys once I have a little bit more to say on this book. But so far, mixed feelings, and I'm kind of sad about it just because I haven't had like a really successful read yet, but the reviews of this one, I did go and look, have been better, I think, than the other 2 books. So I don't know, maybe this will work out for me. We shall see. Okay, I'm like 30% into this book. Also, my sheets are clean, so we had a successful day. I feel like I should have some bold feelings about this book, and yet I just don't. I feel like if I were to rate it right now, right this instant, it would be like 3 stars, because it's certainly not bad. It's actually not poorly written. I'm getting more into the story, and I'm finding that the writing's not bad. It was just a little confusing at the beginning, but I just don't really like stories like this. I think is really the reason why I'm just like not connecting with it at all. And that sounds bad, but I feel like, and y'all probably feel the same way, I know a lot of y'all do, whenever there's no tropes in a romance, I'm kind of just left feeling very like meh. Like a typical boy meets girl story is just not that interesting. Like, give me enemies to lovers, give me friends to lovers, give me forced proximity, like give me some compelling reason for these people to like be attracted to each other or like to have tension. Otherwise, I'm bored. Bae and Dare, like he likes her, she's kind of like iffy about him, and that's pretty much it. Like, it's nothing compelling or mind-boggling or whatever. Like, it's fine, it is what it is, but I'm not like, yes, have to read. One thing I will note is that how come in every high school new adult romance, the guys are so, I don't want to say cocky. Cocky's not really the word that I'm looking for. We oftentimes have guys, all the women want them. All the girls in high school are like falling over themselves to like pleasure them. I don't understand that. Like, who was like that in high school? I mean, I know that like some people are like that, but like for the most part, even the cool guys at school weren't getting like constantly propositioned by girls. Like, that's just not, that's not typical. Is it typical? Maybe it was typical at your high school, I don't know. But why is this something that like like is perpetuated in books so often over and over again. I mean, I wasn't really into like the popular guys in school, so like obviously that wasn't my experience, but I just like, I don't know anyone who was like that, who was like, oh my god, let me just go up to this guy who I think's cute and like offer to, you know. I just find that that's always included in these stories and I don't know why. Like, is it supposed to show me that he's like hot shit and so cool? Like I wish there were like a little bit more realism there. Like, can these guys be like kind of insecure because like that's how they are in high school? That's not to say I don't like new adult stories and I'm able to overlook some of the silliness, but it's just like something that just keeps coming up. So anyway, god, I wish I had more like exciting and interesting things to say about this book, but like I'm hoping that like by the 50% mark there's something bold and interesting and fun to tell you about. I don't really anticipate that happening, but like maybe. I feel like they're trying to build this up to be some sort of like emotionally vulnerable romance, and like maybe we're gonna get there, but like we're not there yet. We've had some build up, we've had some, oh, her dad's dead and she like has issues with like actually getting her words out when she sings, and then he's got his, you know, trauma with his dad, but like nothing has really happened yet because of that. I need the stakes. Where are the stakes? How is it possible that literally nothing has happened since the last time I talked to you? I'm like, okay, come on, give me something to work with, and then nothing's happening. They've had their first kiss for no reason. Now there have been angsty, like, I didn't know what I was missing until I found you, thrown in, sprinkled in, and I can tell because like I have the Kindle version of this that this is like, these are the most highlighted quotes of this book. Maybe I'm soulless. I don't know. I really don't know what's happening at this moment, at this juncture in my life. The fucked up thing is that like mentally, I'm not super depressed right now, so it's not like I have no feelings. I feel like I should be enjoying this and I'm just not. I feel like I had the same issue with the last Maya Hughes book that I read. I actually DNF'd that one because I was so uninterested. Something about her writing, it's like, it's really not bad. Like there's nothing patently wrong with it, or like, you know, nothing I can pinpoint. There's just no chemistry between these characters. I have no idea why they like each other besides him being like, oh my god, she can sing. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's like a cool trait to have, I suppose, but like there's like no intellectual discussions being had. There's no like conversation that I'm like, oh my god, y'all are good for each other. You guys like are puzzle pieces. You guys fit together. Like, no, there's none of that. And frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the subpar writing. I like how I just said the writing wasn't bad, but then I just implied that the writing is bad. When I say the writing isn't bad, I mean that there's not a ton of grammatical errors. The plot makes sense. There isn't anything problematic. And I have to point these things out because sometimes that does happen in indie published books. No shade to indies, like they're my favorite. So there's none of that present, but the chemistry is not there. The chemistry is not written well. What is a romance without the chemistry? It's nothing. That's what it is. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish this book with all of the power left in me. I'm not feeling really great, but like I'm gonna finish this. We're gonna chat about it. We're gonna chat about how this video went, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay, I lied. I'm not gonna just wait to update you until I finish this book, because like I just keep thinking of things. Number one, they're about to get it on, I think, maybe, perhaps. I don't know what either of these people look like. How am I supposed to envision any of this? Is my reading comprehension just not there, or is there really like no description of these people? I really feel like that's what it is, and it's bugging me. Look at what? Second of all, if you're wanting like an angsty singer-songwriter story, I sadly would recommend Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover over this. That's at least interesting, and that's the thing, it's like, where's the interest? I would rather have a guy cheat on his girlfriend than read this. And I don't mean in real life. I mean, that's what happens to Maybe Someday. Anyway, sorry if that's a spoiler and you like haven't read that Colleen Hoover book yet, but that's where I'm at. The way that I hated that fucking book. Why is my luck so bad, honestly? Like, I was so excited at the beginning of this video. I was like, this is gonna be so fun. Like, we're gonna read sports romances. And like, you know what? Maybe the things that I'm saying are going to attract you to some of these books. Like, that is my hope, that at least this was kind of entertaining, or you can find a book that you might want to read even if it didn't work for me. But wow, did I not like this. Okay, I don't know how much I really want to spoil, but this really read a lot like YA. Besides the one explicit sex scene near the end of the book, this was very YA. Just the way it was written, the way the character relationships are written. I guess it could kind of be true to that whole high school experience, because like your feelings and your emotions are so over the top, right? But I just, wow, I did not like this. The ending scene that breaks up the couple for 4 years made me so viscerally angry, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it. Essentially, Bae has a guitar that was gifted to her by her father, and she ends up finally singing at her school's talent show, and the song that she's singing is a song about Dare and about how his like scars make him beautiful or whatever. Didn't like explicitly say that he had been abused, but it wasn't something that he was like comfortable with her singing in public. I don't think he even knew that the song existed, but she sings it at a talent show, and he hears her singing and he goes up to the stage, so everyone thinks that the song is about him, which it is. He's enraged. He's like, I don't know why the fuck you would pick that song and why you thought that was appropriate to sing in public. Behind closed doors, he smashes her guitar, gifted to her by her dead father. Made me so mad. I had no emotions reading this book beyond that final scene where he smashes her guitar, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, I don't think he knew that it was her father's guitar. Like, I don't think that she had told him that, from what I remember, but I'm just like, I don't know, I guess it's good enough reason to like separate them, but the fact that he was kind of violent towards her, I guess, I mean, like, smashing someone's belongings is worrisome, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that can be a sign that someone, you know, if they're comfortable hitting your things and like punching the wall, then they might be comfortable punching you as well. So that really didn't sit well with me. And just overall, like, there was just no chemistry between these two characters. Like, how? I don't understand it. I can officially say that I don't think Maya Hughes books are for me. I think this is the third one I've tried, or maybe I tried that first one twice. I definitely did that, but I think I might have tried another one by her. This didn't work for me, and I'm really disappointed in that. If I were to rate this, I think I'd give it like 2 stars, maybe 1 star, probably more like 2. Beyond that final scene and like beyond the abuse depiction, this was a very like tame romance. There's not a whole lot going on that I think was problematic. If you like kind of angsty, not angsty, because this wasn't really even angsty, if you like emotional romances, you might enjoy this. It just wasn't for me. It felt very boring. That's it. I mean, that's the video, folks. I feel like I should have some like bold grand wrap up, but I sort of don't feel like it's super necessary this time. I read 3 books. None of them were really perfect for me. I would say if you like Ilsa Madden Mills books and you liked Dear Ava, I think I would recommend The Revenge Pact. It wasn't perfect by any means, but the first like 40% of the book was really fun and exciting, and it's probably the most fun I've had reading in a really long time. So while it didn't end up being my perfect romance, I thought it was really fun. So I actually would recommend that one. And again, that one was pretty tame, I would say, for like new adult. None of these books were like super terrible and problematic. The second one, On a Tuesday, I would say was maybe the most problematic of them, but it wasn't really that bad, but I also wouldn't recommend it. And then this one, you know, if you want to just basic attraction type romance, like, what do you even call a romance where like there's no tropes involved? I don't even know. If you want that kind of thing, this might work for you, but it didn't work for me. I don't know. I feel like I usually have fun conclusions with this video, but I don't think I have one. I'm just gonna keep searching, and I'm gonna find good romances eventually. Let me know in the comments down below if you watch this whole thing. I mean, don't let me know that you watched the whole thing, but let me know what romances you would like me to read next. If you have any good Kindle Unlimited recommendations for me that you've been dying for me to like read and review, or if you have any like genres that you'd like to see me read from Kindle Unlimited, totally down to do that. I'm kind of, you know what, I might do a dark romance one. I know you guys have been wanting me to read some dark romances lately, so I'd be totally down probably to do that soon here. I need a change. I think maybe this tame stuff at this point is just not working for me. Maybe I need a dark romance to like strike my fancy. If you have any dark romance recs, let me know. Also, again, other genres. Anyway, if you watch this whole thing, thanks so much. I love ya, and until next Sunday.